Selene Saxby.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise to speak to the amendment in my name on spatial prioritisation due to competing pressures on sea space and what is essentially a spatial squeeze. I fully understand the importance of this bill, as we all know that the oil and gas industry will have a key role as the UK transitions towards cleaner energy, and this bill provides reassurance to the industry. And I'm grateful that the government has stated that each annual licensing round will only take place if key emissions tests are met to support that transition to net zero. I thank the Minister and his team for their ongoing engagement on this issue, but as we seek to turn to renewables and clean energy, we need to ensure that we have the space and infrastructure to carry this forward, or the energy transition will never come to fruition. I brought this up directly with the Farming Minister during the EFRA Select Committee, as my concerns extend beyond just oil and gas, but also how floating offshore wind and fishing can cohabit the same ocean space, along with concern about marine protected areas, because there is clearly a balance to strike. It was good to hear the Minister's response about the cross-departmental work to ensure our fishermen have a future alongside our need to expand our renewable energy sources. But there is an opportunity within this bill to ensure we do not repeat these conversations as other energy sources compete for space in the precious waters around our coast. This will not only help the UK's energy security, but also our push towards renewable energy, supporting our fishing fleets, not to mention retaining a simultaneous focus on biodiversity and improving the condition of marine protected areas. As a coastal MP, all these points are especially important to me, and being an eternal optimist that we can do all these things simultaneously if we can plan strategically where we have the opportunity.
Well, my honourable friend, give way on that point. My honourable friend's making some very good points, particularly on the issue of spatial squeeze, and she also makes the point that this is not a one thing or another. I think the members opposite tend to look at this whole debate as a sort of black and white, we have to be in this direction or that direction. But does she agree that whether you're talking from a fishing perspective, offshore wind, offshore oil and gas, it's very important that we do actually come together and everyone has a say at the table?
I thank my honourable friend for his intervention, and as always, actually, I agree with the points that he makes, and that the need to prioritise space is absolutely critical, as the government has committed to delivering 50 gigawatt of offshore wind, representing approximately 93.3 billion worth of investment and requiring 8,500 kilometres of new marine space. I need to declare an interest as chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group for the Celtic Sea. I am particularly concerned about the deployment of floating offshore wind or flow. Flow will open up areas such as the Celtic Sea so that we can generate energy no matter which way the wind blows. As it can be deployed in waters deeper than 60 metres, this technology opens up 80% of our offshore wind resources. The Celtic Sea is an environment where strategic planning at this early point in the development of flow, not just for spatial prioritisation on the seabed, but also clear planning on cable routes to optimise how power transitions to the grid, minimises blue carbon disruption from our ocean floors, as well as onshore environmental damage from multiple plug-in points. Indeed, given the long-term commitment to energy generation in the Celtic Sea as well as the North Sea, the chance to plan strategically and include all future leases within a national framework is now. More renewable energy and greater energy efficiency contribute more to energy security than new oil and gas. This integrated spatial planning will require new licences to ensure that enough sea space is allocated for nature recovery and climate change mitigation. Otherwise, there is a risk that industrial activities could crowd out these important environmental purposes, which quite clearly can coexist with the right strategic planning, early enough in the evolution of these vital new technologies, running alongside those which are clearly now waning. In its current form, the bill has no provisions to require spatial prioritisation testing of the geographical blocks that become available for oil and gas search and production. This means that the North Sea Transition Authority will be able to grant new licences in areas of the sea where the cumulative impact of activities are incompatible with the achievement of government targets outlined in the Climate Change Act 2008 and the Environment Act 2021.
But will she accept that in several cases where there could be oil and gas useful deposits in the North Sea, these are adjacent to existing pipes and existing development production platforms, and that would be one of the great advantages because the infrastructure is already there and it has spare capacity because of the decline of the traditional fields. So that would be far less intrusive, would it not?
I thank my right honourable friend for his intervention, and I think it is a valid point. But I think that for me this was about opening up that conversation and making sure that these things are considered as in the round, that if we are going to put an extra pipe there, that we consider what we're offsetting somewhere else. And polling has found that 80% of the UK public believe our ocean protection laws must be strengthened. I know how important our waters are to the residents of North Devon and the wider UK. We must ensure that we do all we can whilst understanding the vital role that oil and gas will play in our energy security moving forward as well as at present. Spatial prioritisation is important to ensure that as we continue to drive forwards our new green energies, it is not done at the expense of our traditional industries such as fishing and gives due consideration to the marine environment to which we on land owe so much and are still finding out more about. Balance and optimisation is the objective of this amendment, and I hope the Minister will consider this opportunity so we really can have it all. Decarbonise our energy, improve our biodiversity, support our fishermen and improve our energy security.